So what we have here today is a pair of carburetors in pieces from a 1947 Jaguar Mark IV sedan. Now, I wasn't originally going to do a video concerning these carburetors because a friend of mine asked me to help him out with these carburetors, and we were just going to clean them up while he hung out and just get them done. And then I realized I wasn't going to be able to clean them up in that short a time. At a minimum, they would have to soak overnight to get anywhere with them. So he helps to maintain a small collection of cars a friend of his has, where they have about a dozen cars roughly that are mostly from like 1930 to 1960, with a few old British cars like this Jaguar. And this thing's been getting harder and harder to start every time they start it, until it just didn't want to run anymore. And he's like, I don't know nothing about SUs. Can you help me out real quick? So I'm like, yeah, come on over. We'll get them cleaned up while you hang out, because I like hanging out with them anyway. We'll get them done. Once he brought them over, and you can see we got a clue how dirty they were. This has already been soaking in the solvent tank and it's still that dirty. But the float bowls had so much silt in them, I literally had to dig the stuff out. And the jets were so full of silt that where the needle goes into the jet, it wouldn't go down far enough to even let the piston drop all the way to the bridge. It was holding it open, which is why they couldn't start it anymore. So I ended up telling him I'm going to have to keep these things for a little while longer, plus we're going to need some like seals and gaskets and stuff that I didn't have in stock. But I soaked them for a while, and actually to get them this clean, I had to put them in the cabinet with walnut shells, because the only way I could get it this clean, because they just won't clean up really well just trying to scrub them up, because you get down in these nooks and crannies like this, and you really can't get in there very easily. But the walnut shells do a great job of cleaning all of that up without changing the surface any. Now, these carburetors are not exactly untouched carburetors, because if you notice, obviously this is not an original dash pot here. And looks like somebody had cut this piston down a little bit to fit that one. So I can't even put a new correct one on it if I had one sitting here, which I haven't looked for because we can't use it. I know I don't have any of the pistons like this. So we're going to go roll with it like it is, but it was missing one of the pins here to push down here. So I just used a newer one. It doesn't have the cotter pin. It's got the clip, but it'll still work and function just fine. And considering nothing, these aren't completely original anyway, we're not worried about that. This is not a show queen car. It's more of a survivor. Okay. So one interesting thing about these carbs, which I think these were actually used on like some mueslis or something else too, was they have this solenoid on them here that goes on here. So they call this section a starting carburetor. So basically this solenoid allows fuel to come through here to enrich in the mixture on initial startup. That's something we don't see on, like, say, the MGs and the Triumphs and the Austin Healey's. It's kind of a unusual thing to see. And these are not exactly easy to get parts for here in the US. So I had to do a bit of research. You can't really just look up a 47 Jaguar and find the parts anywhere here in the US from anyone. So we find some of the bits are going to be the same on many different carburetors, because SU really carried a lot of stuff through over the years. So when you're talking about the banjo bolts holding the fuel line on, yeah, it's the same little fiber washer on it. So I keep those in stock because I'm working on MGAs and stuff like that. But when you get into the jets and the jet holder at the bottom, all these parts are are a little bit different than what we're used to seeing on, say, MGs, Austin Healey's, and Triumphs. But you're still going to use the same little cork seal under here, so that way we can get that from, you know, T-Series, MGA, whatever. So I keep those in stock. But some of these other bits here, like the washers that go under here, are more specific to this series carburetor, but I did some digging and I found that it looks like it's all the same parts as, say, an XK120, so I ordered all the stuff for that because we can order that here in the US. And we got in here, they were missing all of the little screens on the inlets, which is why they were so full of silt. So I did happen to have a set of old stock ones sitting here, so we're going to be putting those in, just try to stop that. Of course, you'll probably have to take these apart and clean them fairly often because obviously there's crap in the tank, and he might end up putting an inline filter somewhere to try to capture that without actually having to take the tank off and clean it. So once I get this one cleaned up and I get these put back together, he does want me to help him get this thing running and tuned. So spring is on its way, and we all know what that means. We're all going to be start getting our cars out here soon, and a lot of people will wait till spring to go ahead and change their oil. So if you like what we do here on this channel and you would like to support us, I got a way you can support us without costing you anything extra. Actually, it would probably save you money. We put links in the description to things like the oil that we use here with VR1, and also the Castrol GTX Classic, and to our hand cleaner that I use here, which is the Cherry Bomb. It's the best of the not super expensive stuff to taking the fuel smell off your hands when you're messing with fuel systems. And all of those things will be cheaper in our links than you can get them for at any of the parts stores out there. So you can save yourself some money, and a couple bucks come back to us when you buy through there. And we'll try to see if we can put up some QR codes here, probably on this side over here, because if you're on a TV, you won't be able to click on the links in the description, so it gives you a way of doing that. Now also remember, everything you buy within that session, even if it's not those items, we could still get credit for if it's a qualifying purchase.